Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's look at your reading. I'm going to look at you first and then the energy around you, the person that's on your mind. And then this week, I'm looking Aries through Pisces at no contact. So if you haven't heard from somebody, what's the potential that you may hear from the person? Now I got Aries, your energy right here, Page of Wands, overall energy for the week anyways, which brings in a fire energy, messages, flirting, phone calls, communication. So already we are seeing overall that this could be a very good time. And when I say week, it's whenever you get this video, the next 7 days or so, right? Because the messages always find you when you need them. The Page of Wands is exploring some new ideas, maybe even a new person coming into some of your lives, or if things are starting to pick up around you and a person that's on your mind. We're flirting, we're talking. It's very curious. Somebody very curious about you. I see the Strength card underneath that, which is a Leo energy, and it's talking about somebody here trying to play it cool. All right, somebody may be holding back what they're really feeling a little bit, giving you, some momentum here. Somebody's obviously poking at you and saying, hello, I'm here. But they could be withholding out of pride, just maybe not wanting to jump in just yet all the way, kind of test the waters, I guess, before, taking a huge leap. But you got their attention, all right? Maybe they're having a hard time for some of you, depending on your situation. Trust in the situation, I don't want to just jump all in just yet. So let's see you, Two of Cups. All right, so you're feeling it. What's your biggest challenge with the situation? The King of Swords. You may be dealing with an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, somebody who seems a little bit detached in a way, impartial to the situation. You may be thinking this, right? Feels like you felt a connection with somebody. Something definitely is brewing. You have the Two of Cups, which is showing the beginning stages of a relationship. So with the Two of Cups, you feel a vibe, right? You feel like somebody's got your attention. But with the challenge being the King of Swords, this is somebody that may not give you all the signs you need. They're not somebody that is constantly validating you. And they can seem a little bit distant at times. So you may have had a moment with this person and you're ready to jump in. This is your energy as well, too. It's like they really got you. But your person here is somebody that likes to, hold back, make sure that they're making the right decision. So all I'm getting here for you is that somebody wants to test the waters. Testing if this is, something that could, is this just a little flirt, or is this something that could be more meaningful? How do you view your person or the situation? And I see the Page of Swords. So I do see right now, for me, the Page of Swords can talk about delayed messages. It just feels like things got started, but now you're starting to question everything, or you're wondering what they're really thinking. Are they into me? Are they going to reach out to me? What's going on here? And if somebody has pulled back their energy a little bit, it really can trigger right now with the transits that are going on. Please know this, with the transits that are going on right now, especially the retrograde, it really can trigger rejection, right? Or you're feeling like somebody's not into it, not wanting you. So immediately you may react thinking somebody's going cold and distant on you because they don't want this, and it's just, there's an energy of, I'm thinking about things. I want to play it. I want to play it right. I want to have all the answers before I just jump in. I want to get to know you in some sort of way, right? But you can see here that you're connecting with somebody that is very interested in you, but you have more questions and not enough answers just yet. So let's see if they're going to bring in some answers for you this week. Let's look at them. I have the Knight of Cups. All right. So you have somebody trying to play their moves. They're trying to play it smart. Yeah, I always look at this one here as Scorpio energy too, because I just feel like, that you got them. You got their attention. Their eyes are on you, right? Even with that Page of Swords, maybe you're like, come on, I know you're there, right? What's going on? And it feels like you are triggering something with somebody, their inner child. Maybe they do love this little flirty part of the situation. It seems kind of fun, but it can create anxiety when somebody's kind of testing the waters, right? You're like, just jump in already. But somebody here, may surprise you. The Knight of Cups here, I've got my eye on you. I'm falling for you. The problem with this, though, is that your person here showing up as the King of Swords, what they're really questioning is this just a crushy poo? Is this something that is going to last? I've been played before, or I've fallen really hard for somebody before, or maybe even I've fallen for you before, but it always ends up that maybe this person feels played, right? Or it's love at first sight, but then it never goes anywhere, right? Or it repeats a pattern. So let's see what the biggest challenge with you is. The Four of Swords. Ooh. All right, space. All right. So this may trigger some of you, and that's not my intention, is to trigger you. But right now, especially with the retrograde and with the pulling back of energies, like I said, you may get overwhelmed whenever this person takes a little space or isn't responsive to you. And it's not, right now, it's not that they're not feeling you or not wanting this, but sometimes people, they really do need their space to really figure out, they get overwhelmed with the pressure or things moving too fast. And so there is a little silence here, maybe, or when they go silent, you may feel like you can't trust them, because the challenge with you is the King of Swords. And that can be the King of Swords. If you get that as a challenge, sometimes that's just saying somebody's not being honest, right? You just don't believe the person's being honest, right? And so you may not be trusting them. So you're questioning them, or maybe you're texting them, or needing more text more often, right? Which can be an anxious attachment. And this person here may be getting overwhelmed with it because they just need a little more time, a little space to really figure things out. And that might be hard for you, because it does look like the Two of Cups here, you're falling for somebody and you want the momentum to pick up, and that's your personality. You're like, this is it, let's go, right? But remember the rule that when things happen too fast, sometimes they don't last. And this is what's happening here in your situation. Okay. So let's see how they view you. And I see the Two of Pentacles. All right. So again, this could be triggering, right? They may feel like you're not being flexible with them. You're not being accommodating with them. You may get overwhelmed real easily, right? They view you, the Two of Pentacles. You have a lot going on too, but maybe you are showing up a little bit. You might say one thing 1 minute, and then the next minute, get anxious or say something else, right? So they could feel like you have a lot going on, and maybe they're questioning whether or not you are in another relationship, or if you're fully invested in this. This just tells me that patience, right? We just need to kind of figure things out. We're in the early stages here with the twos, and you may be giving off mixed signals, right? And this person is just trying to figure out what your plan is, what's really going on, what are you really up to? All right, so let's see what's shifting with them this week, and their intentions towards you this week, and what Spirit thinks you should do regardless this week. All right, so what's shifting with them is the Eight of Pentacles. What's their intentions this week? I see the Ten of Swords. So that's pretty good, though. And what does Spirit want you to do regardless? And I see the Eight of Swords. So I'm going to put that there. Your person's going to put an end to the silence this week. All right. It looks like you're going to have a decision this week, right? Or a break in the silence. The shift is the Eight of Pentacles. All right. The Eight of Pentacles is things are coming together. I really want to make this work. All right. Some of you guys may work together, or some of you, there's just been a long pause, right? The Seven of Pentacles can be a long pause. So this is showing that I really do want to make this work. All right. I'm coming in. I'm going to attempt at, investing in this connection, and we're going to move forward. So I do see strong potential of moving forward, but it does look like they're asking you to be more flexible with them, adapting to them a little bit more, going with the flow here. This to me always indicates following the energy dynamic. If somebody pulls back a little bit and you feel a strong pull to, or you're getting overwhelmed and you feel, I'm anxious, why are they going quiet? During those moments, let the situation breathe a little bit, and try to focus on something else, because this is where they're asking you to understand, or just be a little bit more flexible with the way they show up at the moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you always do this. This is the early stages where you're working with each other. You're trying to accommodate each other's needs, right? And not get overwhelmed and think that this person is being cold or emotionally unavailable for you, because that's not true. All right. They really do have feelings here that are developing, and there is potential for this to really work out and you guys to come together this week. I do see them breaking the silence, but I do see your anxiety, your need, right, or your fear around here of them not taking action towards you could be creating this extra anxiety, unnecessary worry around this situation. And what happens with this is, when you're in the Eight of Swords energy, you may project your fears onto somebody else, and it actually can push somebody away unintentionally. It can bring up fears, and this person can just feel like, I don't know what else to do. So they feel a little bit pressured to respond earlier than they're meant to, or earlier than they want to. And it's usually because you may have been through this before, and you're anxious, and there's a lot of worry about things not working out for you. But then you start to give that off in your energy, and it can, it's triggering to hear this. Okay, I understand this, but it is a valid truth that when we're anxious and nervous, right, we're giving off a sense of insecurity, and it's repelling people rather than attracting people. When this person is attracted to you, right, we may think that when they come in and they make us feel better, that it's deepening the connection, but it's not deepening the connection with trust. It's deepening the connection under pressure. Okay. And so Spirit is just asking you to be mindful of your thoughts this week, because your person is going to break the silence, and they do want to reach out and plan to, maybe even get together with that Eight of Pentacles and try to see where things go. But their biggest challenge is the Four of Swords. This person tends to get overwhelmed pretty easily. But it's not going to stop them. The Four of Swords tells me they just need to breathe before they take action. And that's why you're dealing with delayed messages. All right. So with that being said, let's look at Aries through Pisces. And let's see if you are in no contact. Remember, we see here somebody who really wants to kind of test things before they jump in. And so this is calling for you to have a lot of self-control and inner trust this week, that somebody does find you very attractive and worth investing in, right? That's part of the Empress too, is just knowing your worth, knowing your value. But messages seem to be what's coming through for you this week. But let's see, if you're in a no contact situation, that can be a little bit more difficult. So let's see the energy behind each sign and what potential over the next 7 days will they reach out. Aries, the Sun card. All right. So look at this. This is even for you here as well. You have clarity coming in. All right. Things are looking better than you think. You may be fearing the worst, expecting the worst, thinking somebody's pulling away, which can trigger your rejection wound. It can make you feel like, oh, this is happening again. And that's the part that you're meant to work on, is not worrying about, or expecting things to fail. All right. The Sun card is showing a promise, somebody pulling through, somebody, speaking their truth, growth happening, things clearing up for you this week. So I see a yes with an Aries. Taurus, I see the Five of Wands, right? Try not to fight it this week and make it happen. If you're forcing it to happen, again, it could go the opposite direction than you want. So the 5 doesn't say no, you won't hear from them, but it does show that there is some conflict here, some challenges here. So just be mindful that this week, if you're feeling like you're forcing it, it might work against you. Gemini, 7 of Wands. So we are seeing a challenge in position 2 as well, but we do see them, there could be still some walls and a block here. If you're really blocked, all right, this could indicate still being blocked, and you may know the reason. But it also can indicate that somebody just wants to be heard and they're feeling a little bit defensive around you. So I'm going to go with there's a possibility, yes, that you could hear from somebody, but just know that your Gemini could be very defensive. Cancer, the Tower card, expect the unexpected. All right. Some of you might be like, I haven't heard from Cancer in forever. Right. But you know, you never know. The Tower card can indicate a shock, right? Unexpected message. Leo, King of Pentacles. It seems like yes with a Leo, all right. You have a King of Pentacles. Somebody, you know, take it slow, take it steady. You may get an initial response from them, but they are somebody that does take things slow. But opening the door is what you want, right? Virgo, the Hanged Man. You may not hear from them yet. I'm still seeing silence. Libra, right? The potential happiness coming your way with a Libra. You may still be sitting in a period of silence with a Libra, but this tells you to just surrender to the process with it, because it looks like you may hear from your Libra eventually, if not in the next 7 days. Scorpio, Three of Pentacles. Again, another one. It may not happen in the next 7 days, but it looks like things are working out for you guys. Whatever's going on behind the scenes is working for you, not against you. All right. So there is potential to hear from them, maybe a little bit later than sooner. Sagittarius, Seven of Pentacles, same thing. You know, it looks like there's a kind of a roadblock. You know, they're just kind of testing the waters. They're kind of waiting things out to see where they go, but there is plans to reach out to you. Capricorn, you could hear from a Capricorn this week. It looks like they really want to make this work. They really want this, very attracted to you. Aquarius, you may hear from an Aquarius, but I am seeing here whatever pattern that you're dealing with an Aquarius is still showing up. This could be a chance to deal with any fears or any problems that you're having, but there is a strong attachment here to a certain pattern that you have with your Aquarius. Pisces, Nine of Pentacles. We're looking at a potential success with the Pisces. You guys may feel a sense of freedom this week when it comes to finally feeling relief, feeling like things might be going somewhere or working out. But just remember, your Pisces is showing up as a Nine of Pentacles. So this is somebody that does like their solitude. They are very happy on their own, right? So they don't need a lot of attention. So if you're still with me, I'm going to do a bonus yes, no for you. Think of your question. Yes. And you have the Seven of Pentacles. Somebody thinking about making an investment here, but I can see here the pause though, the Seven of Pentacles. You know, things are growing, but you're sort of in a gestation period, right? With the Seven of Pentacles, which means sometimes the most work happens when there's space, when we breathe, when we allow somebody just to have their space, give them their space, right? Instead of fighting the space. People fight the space because they're afraid. It feels like death. It feels like silence is just, it's over. And that is not the truth. So Saturn here is also showing lessons and growing and understanding and maturing and understanding a different approach to things. That there's another doorway opening up and things seem to be moving for you with this connection. Now you have the High Priestess at the bottom here, which can also tell me, listen more, listen to the other person more, see what's going on and just hold back your energy, right? It's working out, but your anxiety may be getting the best of you. I love you guys. Take care.